How are we doing, guys? And welcome back to All Leeds to Be. It's your Leeds versus Norwich match build-up. And we're with Tash, as always. And yeah, how are you, Tash, first and foremost?
Yeah, I'm good, especially after a win. Can't complain.
I'm
You?
loving the retro Adidas top there as well. I'm loving that, loving that. And what I'm loving as well is Leeds coming into this game back to the top of the table.
Yeah.
Sorry, still at the top of the table, back after Sheffield United took it off us on Saturday. No messing about. 3-0. Yeah. It feels good. It feels good again. I mean, are you confident going into this one first and foremost?
Yeah. Yeah, I think like Norwich being 11th, so sort of similar to Chef Wednesday. And we're normally okay with them teams. So yeah. And obviously they lost their they lost their last game. So yeah, we've got a bit more confidence. We're playing at home. Yeah. I'm
We
feeling
should mention
confident.
as well, Norwich are missing their star man, who was suspended at this moment in time. I think he's got like a 6-game ban. Boy has signs. Scored 15 goals this season. Josh Sargent as well, their main man up top, hasn't played a full 90 for quite a long time as well. So that's two big ones. Well, certainly one player definitely missing, and another player who's not at full fitness at this moment in time. Cue him scoring on Wednesday, of course, because why have I just said it? Why do we not just stick with Borja Signs? He's definitely not playing, but Josh Sargent might. So that could come back to bite me, that one. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. I think defensively, I think we've been strong all season. I think Ampadu, I thought, was our best player by a distance on Sunday. I thought he was in a game where there was a lot of good individual performances. I thought Ampadu was just outstanding at the back. I thought you could not tell that he's not normally a centre back. So it's very encouraging from that point of view. But one thing we do need to talk about as well is our own team news. It looks like Solomon is looking like quite a big doubt for this one with his hamstring. According to Daniel Farker's press conference, Aronson, it sounds a little bit more hopeful on, but again, a potential doubt. I mean, if Solomon is out, Tash, if we're going for the negative view of things, does Ramazani just go in? Is it as simple
Yeah.
as that for you?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, especially the impact that he had when he came on last game. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same with it. I think they're both ridiculous quality at this level in terms of Solomon and Ramazani. And I think if it's an opportunity to get Ramazani into the team, it's one worth taking. And if Solomon's back for Burnley, going back onto the positive side of things, then you've got a bit of depth there for the Burnley game. Yeah, we can move it around again. So it can only be a good thing. It can never be a good thing having the player out, but it can only be a good thing having Ramazani in the team as well. So,
Yeah,
it's an
the only
interesting one.
downside is that we haven't then got really an impact player to come on and
Yeah, on that left hand side, it's a bit more limited. I think just worth talking about actually, because I think Nonto is a player worth talking about. I think his form has dropped off a lot last few weeks and probably last few months as well. You could argue. I think out of the four wingers, if you're talking James, Nonto, Solomon, Ramazani, I think Nonto is by far the least in form
yeah.
of the four. I think he's quite a long way off the other three at this moment in time. Would you agree with that, Tash?
I would, but again, like yeah, Nonto when he came on, I thought he did okay. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
just like
definitely the weakest link. If you're being really nitpicky, yeah, weakest link out of them all at the minute.
I don't even
But
know if I'd say weakest link. Just think form wise. I think
yeah,
quality wise, it's there, but his forms.
yeah, I agree. But it's amazing, isn't it, to see how it just switches around all the time? Because as soon as you think, right, yeah, we've got a set
Yeah.
starting 11, then it just changes again.
It's one of
And
those.
people
It's
just
like
flipping.
one good game and one player's the greatest player to have ever walked the earth, and then one bad game and the worst signing we've ever
Well,
made.
this is
It
it,
is the
isn't
way it
it?
is, isn't it? I mean, if
Yeah,
Ramazani hadn't have come on and scored and got an assist, I don't think they'd be anywhere near the same. And by the way, rightly so that we want Ramazani to be getting more minutes. But I think if he not hadn't scored yesterday, it's not the same kind of pressure, is it? And that's the nature of
yeah,
football.
yeah. And did he score against Harrogate as well? So he's
He did. I forgot about that. Yeah, he did
yeah,
score
so
in
he's
that
on
game. I
form.
try and forget
But
that game.
it's good that the Fark rotates it as well. Like we were saying, if that was another player that was out of form, say under Bielsa, he would play him and play him and play him until he still gets back into good form, like he used to do, like maybe Ailing or Click or whatever. But he does rotate and he does use everyone's best abilities at that time, and that's what I really like at the minute of this with this squad.
It's definitely something he's learned from last season. I think last season we saw, in terms of even players in good form, burn out towards the end. I mean, Somerville and Rutter were fantastic
he's
last
really
season.
trying not to
And they
he's
burnt
really
out, didn't
making
they?
sure that they're not burning out this season.
And I think, I think it's a good precaution to take. I think the only player who isn't really getting much rotation in terms of from league games is Aronson. In terms of those forward players, I think Aronson has played pretty much every minute of every game. And obviously, if you look at likes of Rodon, Bogle played quite a lot of minutes. But I'm a bit less concerned about the defensive players because they're having to do a bit less running compared to the forwards. But yeah, there's a few players that are playing a lot of minutes. But in general, I think we have balanced it out a lot better. I think last season it was one starting 11 and then a bench kind of thing.
And we relied on the main key players too much. Yeah. Whereas this time it's like you can just shake it up and it seems all right. Yeah.
Last season when we made a sub, there was a drop off in quality most of the time. And this season, I think it's actually the total opposite. So I think for all the criticism Farke does get for certain things, I think in terms of learning from last season, that particular side of things, which I think was one of the key things that cost us last season, was players burning out and just dropping off at the same time. You know, Somerville and Rutter drops off at very similar times in the season in that early April to mid-May kind of period. They weren't really anywhere near the same quality. I think it was just a case, didn't become bad players overnight.
Dan James was out as well,
Dan James as well. It was just, and hopefully we have learned from that lesson. But I mean, another thing to talk about, Tash, is Pascal Struijk obviously being out injured. I mean, I suppose there's a little bit of transfer talk this a little as well. Would you look to sign a centre-back to be careful on this situation with Pascal's injury issues?
Can do, although I think if we get Firpo back, might be okay. Could probably see the season out without one, but we haven't really got another centre back, have we?
I mean, there's Verber. Ampadu obviously. Ampadu's like a makeshift centre. Ampadu just kind of plays wherever, really. I think it just depends how bad this injury is. I think obviously 3 weeks, it's not ideal. Don't get me wrong, it's not ideal at all. But probably wouldn't panic too much if it is just 3 weeks and they're pretty confident on that. My only worry would be is if it's a recurring one, and Struijk ends up being out like last season for the second half of the season, and all of a sudden we're down to Ampadu and Rodon every single game kind of thing between now and the end of the season. I think that's going to leave us quite light, especially if we need Ampadu back into midfield at some point. That's one. So for me, it depends. I don't know if you would agree with that or not.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, we'll see. It's. I don't know. It's been an interesting one so far in terms of. Well, I'll say it's an interesting one. It's more interesting that we haven't done anything so far in the window. I think we are going to leave it late, whatever we do in that situation. So we know.
To be fair, I wouldn't say no to anyone coming in a minute.
It's it's well, I could say Belusky and you'd say yes.
No.
It's Richard Naylor on a short-term loan to the end of the season.
Maybe I didn't word that right, did I? I mean, anyone, with a bit of quality.
But it'd be interesting to see what happens. I still think there could be movement in this window. I still believe that, especially if there is more injuries to come, because this is Leeds United. There will probably be an injury at some point. We'll never have our strongest 11 on the pitch at the same time. I made peace with that 7 or 8 years ago, to be honest. It's just not what happens at Leeds United. It's not in the culture of Leeds United for that to happen. So let's go on to the game a little bit more, Tash. What I spotted from the Sheffield Wednesday game that I think you can bring into this game is that Sheffield Wednesday tried to play football against us. It was actually it made for a good game, I thought. Not just the fact it was a Yorkshire derby. The atmosphere still wasn't at its best, but I think that was more to do with a stupid kickoff time as well, midday on a Sunday. Not ideal. I thought it was a bit better than what it has been the last couple of weeks. But with that, the fact, I think Norwich will play quite openly against us. I think you saw it in the game earlier in the season at Carrow Road. It was quite an end-to-end game. I'm hoping it's going to be quite an entertaining one on Wednesday. Obviously, get the win first and foremost, but I'm hoping for a bit more of a entertaining game of football.
I think Norwich normally is, to be fair. Certainly the last
Normally
game with them
goals.
was. Yeah, normally is quite a few goals. And can I just say I got my prediction right last week? I said 2 or 3-0 and it was 3-0.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit of a cop-out saying 2 or 3-0. You can't go to a bookies and say... You can't go to bookies and say,
it was, it's going to be 1-0 really slow, boring, like what you said. So it was more in there than you were.
Yeah, no, you were. Yeah. I think I only went 1-0, didn't I?
Yeah.
I went boring 1-0. Yeah, I think a few more goals on this one. I really do. I think there will be a few more goals. And I was trying to think what else we can take from that Sheffield Wednesday game. Really, I mean, other subs you're looking at. It says Gruev came on in that game. I mean, would you look to move things around in midfield a little bit to keep things fresh there? Because it looks like Ampadu isn't going to play many minutes in midfield for a while now. Would you look at maybe Gruev?
Who did Aronson come off for? Was that Gruev?
I think Gruev came on for Rothwell. I'm pretty sure on that. Aronson came off. I'm trying to think who Aronson came off for.
Wasn't Nonto, was it?
No.
Shifted him. Trying to think who was number 10
Whilst
now.
I'm asking you about Ilya Gruev, would you start him potentially in this game just to give Rothwell or Tanaka a rest? Would you go for that?
No. I don't like switching it up too much. Like I was saying that it's good to see rotation, but I'd like to only with Solomon being changed, I would probably just maybe 1 or 2 players, but not. I don't know, and I think I'm not sure about Perot. Maybe have him as an impact player. Swap them round. Joseph and
so you'd look more at that situation, the number 9 situation, than the in midfield.
Yeah,
definitely. That's pretty fair. In terms of, I still think Perot's better off the bench, but at the same time, with having said that, I'm not sure Joseph is fully ready to be starting games. I still think he needs that goal. And I do still believe if he gets like keeps a broken record again, when he gets that goal, I think he'll go and get 10 and 12 or 11 and 15. I think he'll go on a bit of a run for us. I was very specific, wasn't it? 11 and 15. That's not right. 12 or 13 and 15. That sounds better. It's one of those in that 9 spot. It's just there's no conclusive answer yet. I know Perot gets the goals, which is important, but
but I think we're playing so close to the last game. I would probably start Joseph and then have Perot come on.
Yeah, well, let us know in the comments as well. I mean, I'd probably go along with that as well. I think, listen, Norwich are a good team. There's no question about it. I think they will be pushing for the playoffs this season. But there's still a chance to, try and freshen things up. I mean, I think in the 9 spot, it's a safer bet than doing it in midfield. I think Rothwell and Tanaka are still performing at a level where it would be a drop-off if Gruev started when he's not fully fit. I think I'd go Joseph as well. I think it's a good opportunity for him to get a goal against Norwich as well, because Norwich are quite open and expansive. We do, as we already said, we do tend to score goals against Norwich. We scored, I think we scored against them last season. I think we scored 7 against them last season. 8 against them, last season in 4 games. So we tend to score goals against this Norwich team. And I think Joseph will get chances in the game. Can he take them or not? That's another question. But I think if you're looking at those forward areas, I quite like Joseph and Ramzani on the pitch at the same time as well. I think they've got a nice chemistry as well. They seem to enjoy playing together. There's definitely an understanding there between those two. I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? I just feel when you're looking at playing after Sheffield United, I think tomorrow as well, it's going to be pressure back on us going into Wednesday if Sheffield United do win. They play Swansea away tomorrow. Sunderland play Derby away, and then I think Burnley play on the same day as us. Yes, they do. They play Plymouth away on Wednesday. I don't know about you, Tash. I don't like playing after the chasing pack. I like playing either before or at the same time. I hate the idea of Sheffield United winning tomorrow, and then we've got that extra little bit of pressure
definitely.
psychologically.
football is a mentality game, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely makes an impact, and especially I think that's why I was so happy with the win on Sunday as well, because of that. And normally when we get the chance to take a lead, we like to mess it up. So it was really good to see that we didn't do that.
They had a chance
But
at 1-0. They did have a chance at 1-0, Sheffield Wednesday.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So
And just to answer the question of Aronson, who came out, I was trying to load up the BBC Sport app there. I feel like a 80-year-old man trying to use technology at the minute. I'm terrible with technology. If you guys don't know, you probably do know. You'll definitely know. I am terrible with technology. The person who came on for Brendan Aronson was Guy Lavogie. Came on
oh, of
for
course.
Aronson.
Yeah.
I forgot that. I did forget that actually.
Yeah, I did.
To be fair, it wasn't. I didn't think it was in the 90th minute either. I thought it was a lot quicker than that.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
thought it was like
it's
70th, yeah.
so I was thinking Aronson got a couple of minutes rest, but he didn't actually. He probably got about a minute,
Yeah.
of less running. Makes all the difference. Yeah, I mean, just one more thing to ask because he did keep a clean sheet. Are you still
I
Darlow or
still
Melier?
Yeah, I still stick with Millie, and I think he did a really good save actually, and I think that's perked his confidence up a bit more. So, yeah, I'd still play him.
Hopefully it's done the job. And let us know in the comments down below. Would you go Darlow or would you go Melier? Left back situation as well, something we haven't touched on. Obviously, Junior Firpo was on the bench throughout the game against Sheffield Wednesday. Byron played the full 90. Is it Sam Byron's spot now? Is he now the first choice
Well,
left back
he did
essentially?
really well last
Yeah,
game. I thought
I
he
think he's
played
done well all
fantastic.
season, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the only criticism is that he just goes backwards a lot, whereas Firpo offers he's a bit like Bogle, isn't he? He likes to drive the goal, drive the ball forward, and is a lot better. I mean, them two are more like wingers half the time, aren't they? So it's just defensively, I think Byron's probably better than Firpo. So maybe depending on the game, if we get a good lead, I don't know, maybe start Firpo, get a good lead, and then maybe Byron to make it a bit more defensive. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's another option as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure no matter what, Byron will start against Burnley. I'm pretty confident on that. I think in a big game like that away at Turf Moor, I think Farker will probably play it safe on that left-hand side. I think it probably would be Jaden Anthony on that right-hand side. Probably desperate to do well against us as well, Jaden Anthony. So
Yeah.
whether that plays into the thinking of, we know Sam doesn't tend to play sort of 3 games in a week very often, or certainly hasn't since he's had these injury issues. That'll be interesting from that point of view, but we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, Isaac Schmidt as well is another option there as well,
Oh
but
yeah.
realistically, I
Yeah,
don't think
I
Daniel
really like
Farker.
him. Completely
Yeah, I
forgot
do
that.
as well.
But
I
I do really
don't
like
think.
him.
I don't know if he is. I don't know if Farker is keen on Isaac Schmidt. I'm not sure, or if he's just kind of.
Must be his attitude or something, because he was brilliant against Harrogate.
I thought out of all the performers, I thought Isaac Schmidt
That
was
was stood out the most. Yeah.
definitely one of the better, at least one of the better players. One of the out of the, admittedly not a great performance as a team kind of thing, but yeah, it'll be interesting where that kind of goes in terms of the Isaac Schmidt situation. But let us know in the comments down below. Where are you seeing this team now? Who's your first choice at centre forward? Who's your first choice on that left hand side? And it's good to have options, throughout the team. Let us know what your strongest 11s would be. That's probably a better way of doing it, actually. And your prediction for this game as well. Do you think this game plays into our hands? Are you still confident in promotion? Do you still like all these TV? What are you having for your tea? Let us know in those comments down below. And once you finish doing that as well, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done either. It'd be quite outrageous if you comment on videos and not subscribe. That is all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. And make sure you check out Jack and Tash's post-match from yesterday as well if you want a breakdown of the previous game against Sheffield Wednesday. And we will leave it there. Have a good rest of the week. Enjoy it on I was going to say enjoy it on Norwich. Enjoy it on Wednesday against Norwich. And we will be back with post-match reaction and pre-match build-up for Burnley. I'm not sure when we're going to do that. I was going to say Burnley on Monday, but the game is on Monday. We'll figure it out. At some point,
We'll put it
you'll
in.
see a video saying Burnley versus Leeds match Build Up.
So put your notifications on, because then it'll
Notifications,
that's why
that's it as well. Notifications.
and
Notifications bell when you do subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. But if you have subscribed, good on you, but also hit that notification bell as well. Anyway, guys, we'll leave it there. Big thanks for watching. I've been Oscar, that's been Tash, and we shall see you later. Cheers, guys.
Bye.